Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beaver Mosh, and today I'm here to talk to you about Lacerating Pattern from the Sacramento-based band Tentacult, and this is the Transylvanian Recordings release, and this is this death metal crew's debut full length, and Tentacult comes through with a death metal recipe that really works for me. It's cavernous and super nasty while being really unpredictable. This is definitely not a meat and potatoes death metal album, but it has the ugliness of one of those. This record from Tentacult has so many oddball kind of twists and turns, and presents this very unconventional riffing style at times. I would say what I call a cosmic zaniness to the album. It gets weird, but not overly so, while being kind of experimental. It never is or comes across as pretentious or trying to be super artsy. In fact, very much the opposite, I would say. It's very much not those things. Lacerating Pattern comes off as a group of death metal fans playing heavy as fuck death metal and having fun doing so while allowing for their adventurous side to take off. And that way you can feel and hear that, and it comes off super thrilling. Primordial Call kicks off with this slow, bludgeoning riff. It's a real dismal note to start things on, and as the track builds, these chunky riffs push it forward very methodically, while these very odd, spacey synths are kind of faintly in the background add some weird ambience to the track. And this runs seamlessly into the 10-minute litany of Relic Caverns, where Adam Erm's vocals get introduced for the first time. There's these really nasty, throaty growls, but at the same time, while maintaining those qualities, shows a real sense of control of the vocal delivery. Tyler Baldwin's guitar laces through this track with these very spirally licks that come in between these dense, murky riffs. There's definitely a doom metal influence coming through here. Behind the kit, Chung Leung has a more abstract drumming method, never really going for a typical death metal beat, instead electing to introduce these intoxicating gallops, these very sludgy smashing bits, and some just really intoxicating grooves. And if you listen to what the cymbals and the bass are doing, it's just a really cool interaction. They seem to always be offsetting each other, and I love the synths here. They're only used subtly. I mean, this is a death metal record, but how they're used, they conjure up this strange mood that I think makes this record stand out and be so special. Seismic Assault, however, has a much faster, urgent beginning. These adrenaline-infused riffs, stank face all over. What a fucking groove. The whole track has this real disorienting syncopation to it. It's really gnarly. Tino's bass just crawls and burrows. It's really thick and muddy, and it just leaves so much presence throughout the album. Aberration Specter is a perfect example of how Tentacult can be very physical and primal while also being accidentally cerebral. These mammoth pounding riffs will at times evolve into these more maze-like intricate licks and fretboard excursions. Obsidian Blade has this real crushing nauseating intro. It's kind of intentionally aloof in its construction and adds a real dirtiness to it, while ear-splitting noise and feedback is interjected to make this extra terrifying of an experience. The track is continuously morphing and going through these very interesting tempo changes. It'll speed up, it'll slow down, and there's this choppiness in that way that makes this super exciting to try to follow along with. But the track, it does end with this more somber, atmospheric passage. Mournful guitars kind of play with some more impassioned vocal deliveries. It's a really cool moment. The clean choral vocals that pop up on Astral Crypt, I just did not expect those whatsoever. The way this track progresses, you get these cave digging, suffocating swells into these more really freakish swung parts with these fun bass grooves and little mathy guitar flutters. And it'll go into some more atmospheric and moody passages. The way this track just kind of explores freely. And I dig that, because it's done in such a controlled and well-plotted way. It's never random. On Lacerating Patterns Fractal Gateway, these fluttering guitars are met with these more lumbering bass patterns. They're really sick effect, and that lends its way into some more patient and moody instrumental passages. This record doesn't often get super fast, I don't think. It decides to stay, while going through some tempo shifts, more rooting itself in that mid-tempo area, and I think that's fine. Works for what this band is doing on this record. And on this last track here, it just gradually builds in intensity and brutality over its 9-minute runtime. It's a good way to close this out. This is kind of a surprising, under the radar death metal record, one that maintains a sheer aggressiveness and outright brutality while being intricate and super unpredictable. This is a death metal album that knows how to take their listener into unexpected places without overwhelming them. It's a record that possesses a lot of great musicianship and a lot of very unique, creative songcraft. It's also a record that I think is kind of psychedelic and has this spaciness to it that I super love and appreciate about it. And hey, what do you know? Those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Helps get the word out. You'd be so kind. Another way you can really help the channel grow is to subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Go ahead and comment if you want to. I love interacting with those. I love the feeling of this being more of a conversation instead of me just talking to you. I have a Twitter you can follow. Link to that, bio of this YouTube channel. I am very active on it. My name is Maddie, aka Beavermosh. Signing off. Bye.